What is happening, guys? It's Spruce Goose here. Welcome to Top 5 Friday, where we are going over the best abilities you can have on the offensive side of the ball. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. When I came back to Madden a few years ago with Madden 19, I had no clue what abilities were or what they did, and so when they took Escape Artist away from Cam Newton in the middle of the season, I was so confused about why scrambling all of a sudden got so much harder. As it turned out, Escape Artist was just one of more than 100 abilities in Madden, and I quickly learned that having a deep understanding of these abilities is crucial for taking your Madden game to the next level. So while we definitely can't go over all 100 plus of those abilities, here are my top 5 best offensive abilities in Madden 22. Now, jumping right into it, guys, at number 5 on the list, I have the ability Hot Route Master. Now, if you play Regs, then Tom Brady is the only quarterback in the entire game who gets the Hot Route Master ability. If you play Mutt, then the Field General archetype is going to get the best value in terms of AP for getting the Hot Route Master ability, but I think that there are other quarterback archetypes that get it as well. But in case you don't know, you guys know what hot routing is, I assume. Hot routing is the ability to take a receiver like the A receiver and put him on a streak or put him on an in route or something like that. And what Hot Route Master does is it gives us 4 extra hot routes for every position on the field. So outside receivers, slot receivers, tight ends, and running backs each get 4 unique hot routes. And so let's look at the outside receiver first. I'm going to look at Antonio Brown at B. And so you can see that on the left and middle of the hot route menu, those are our standard hot routes. But then on the right side, we get those 4 additional hot routes. So post corner is going to look like that. Not a very good route. You can get a deep post from the outside receiver. You can put him on a corner route, which is really a C route. And then you can also press down on the D-pad and do a fade stop. The outside receiver hot routes are pretty underwhelming other than the post. That's probably the only one you're realistically going to be using. But then when we get into the slot, the routes get a lot better. And so let's look at our A receiver, and you can do a crosser, which, I mean, if you guys know, crossers are one of the best zone beating routes in the entire game. So just being able to put a crosser on the field is unbelievably powerful. Then you can also put him on a corner and on a post. Then the 4th route you've got going down is the stop and go. But you guys can see that the slot routes are pretty good. Moving to the running back, we also have 2 excellent routes. And so the ones that I don't use quite as much are going to be the block and release. And I guess the flat route is still really good as well. Now, last year, swing routes were awful. So like if you don't have Power Master, you could still put your running back on a swing route. Last year, if you threw these swing routes, your running back would just go straight into the sidelines and just go out of bounds for no gain. The swing routes were borderline unusable last year. This year, the swing routes are much more usable. And so even though the flat route might still be a little better, it's definitely not like required. You can get away with the swing routes just fine. Now, the 2 routes that are really, really good though that you get from Hot Route Master are going to be the Ghost route and the Texas route. And so the Ghost route is this wonderful route that just it's a great zone beating route. It's not going to beat man coverage, but if your opponent is playing zone, it is probably one of the best check down routes in the entire game. He's not really going to get picked up by a defender on a hard flat. He's kind of too far from the middle to really, draw attention from any of those middle zones. And so it really does either command a man assignment on the running back or for the user to go over there and pick it up. And so the Ghost route is probably one of the most underutilized routes in the entire game, and Hot Route Master can let you put it on pretty much any play. Now, the final route is probably everyone's favorite man-beating route out of the backfield. That is the Texas route. The Texas route, both on current gen and on next gen, is arguably the best man-beating route in the entire game. It seems pretty much impossible to guard. If there's a Texas route on the field, I know of 2 ways, I guess, to stop it. Is either user it, or you can man up the opposite side defensive end, and sometimes they'll play that decently well. The downside is if you're manning up the opposite side defensive end, and then it's not a Texas route, if it's a wheel route or a flat route, your defensive end is way out of position and cannot really make a play on the ball. And so those are all our hot routes. Oh, I'll go into another play real quick, and we'll find some tight end routes, because the tight end hot routes are also excellent. But while I do that, let's quickly talk about if you don't have Hot Route Master, because obviously not everyone's going to have Hot Route Master. If you play Regs, then if you're not using the Bucks, you're not going to have Hot Route Master. And if you play Mutt, right now, no one has Hot Route Master. I think that the first Hot Route Master quarterback might come out tomorrow, but you have to make some sacrifices on other abilities. Oh, I didn't even choose someone with a tight end. That's okay. Let's find a formation with a tight end. So let's talk about what you can do if you want to get these extra hot routes, but you don't have the Hot Route Master ability. So you have to understand the different abilities like Outside Apprentice, Slot Apprentice, Tight End Apprentice, and Running Back Apprentice or Backfield Master. All of those abilities will grant you those same Hot Route Master hot routes for the individual player. So, there are outside receivers. Like, no, Mike Evans doesn't have it, but let's say Mike Evans did have it, if you went to Hot Route Mike Evans, you would see all the additional hot routes just like you would have for Hot Route Master, but it would just be for Mike Evans. And so it'll also be only from the outside wide receiver position. If Mike Evans was in the slot, you just wouldn't get those hot routes on your hot route menu. So definitely look into those. And on the screen right now, I would try to put all the different players in regs that have some kind of either Outside Apprentice, Slot Apprentice, Tight End Apprentice, or Running Back Apprentice / Backfield Master ability, because you can definitely still utilize these hot routes even without Hot Route Master. And that's important to realize. I played regs for a long time without realizing that there are those apprentice abilities. But real quick, here's the tight end, and we get 4 awesome routes. I think that all 4 routes from the tight end are viable. And so you get another crosser. Crossers are excellent, like we already talked about. You get some amazing corner routes and post routes. Here's the post route. Here's the corner route. But then here's another really interesting route that you don't see very often. It's a trail route. This is basically like the tight end version of a Texas route. Look, here's like what a Texas route looks like. I'll put everyone else on streaks to make it a little easier. It's basically the tight end version of a Texas route. And it can be really tough for your opponents to guard, especially because it starts off looking just like a flat route. So there's a flat route right there. And if your opponent, at the snap sees your tight end just go into the flat, he's gonna say, okay, the tight end is not a threat over the middle, and you might go user the seam, or if the running back was coming on a wheel route, he might go look to use the running back over there. And all of a sudden, the tight end just cuts back towards the middle. Nope, that's the post route. But on the trail route, and it's just really nice spacing. I really like the trail route. I think it's another one that's very underutilized, along with the ghost route that we talked about before. So that is Hot Route Master. Let's jump ahead to the number 4 ability. Now at number 4, we have 2 very similar abilities, and that is short in elite and mid in elite. And we're using the Cardinals because DeAndre Hopkins has both of those. Now, if you read the description, it says for short in elite, improved catching on short passes inside the numbers, but that's not telling the whole story because you also get a route running improvement. So let's just streak these tight ends and block the running back, and let's just look at DeAndre Hopkins. What short in elite actually does is it's going to basically give you route technician route running on any route that breaks between the numbers and at less than 10 yards of depth. So right here, this is an example of a route where, if he's in a man assignment, you saw it light up, hopefully. And, unfortunately, there was some traffic. But if you back and watch the replay, he lit up. I don't know if the replay will show it, but on the cut, he lit up, which is basically showing the ability is activating and he was going to get the separation. Again, unfortunately, because of all that traffic, it doesn't actually matter. But let's do it one more time. Watch the ability light up on the cut. It's going to light up right there. And he's actually not even separating that well. Maybe just because he's not as fast as the guy guarding him. But you guys can see it's lighting up. Now, what people just assume is that, oh, short in elite, it means it lights up on in routes. But let's again think about what the ability actually says. It's where the break occurs. So right here, we have an out route. Even though it's breaking outside, the cut occurs between the numbers and at less than 10 yards. And so if you look right here, he's going to light up again. And unfortunately, we got sacked like instantly, but you guys saw it lit up again. And so let's go ahead and run it one more time so we at least complete the pass. And you see it light up and you see him get like that really good separation. Now, mid in elite is a very similar concept, but instead of being less than 10 yards for the cut, it's on cuts between 10 and 20 yards. And so here I'm in the formation gun deuce close. This is my favorite play, bench. I talk about it a ton in my gun deuce close ebook out of the Jacksonville Jaguars playbook. Message me if you're interested. It's only $5. But if you watch right here, his mid in elite ability is going to light up on this corner route. And if you watch right there on the break, you see it lit up. And without that ability, now DeAndre Hopkins clearly is not playing like I think he should be. I think he should make that catch every single time. But regardless, you can see the ability lighting up, and without that ability lighting up, he probably does not get enough separation to make this catch. So it's important to understand how these abilities work, guys, because if I was to run this like on the other side of the field, if we look at that's AJ Green on the other side of the field, without the ability, he's really not getting that same separation. Now, it looks like the defender missed it, but you saw the defender was on top of him, and on the other side, DeAndre Hopkins is getting the separation. And part of that might just be DeAndre Hopkins has good route running, but I hope you guys can see every single time on the break, the ability is lighting up. But anyway, guys, I feel like I'm rambling way too much. The point is, short and elite and mid and elite help you guys get crazy good separation. And in a time when zones are pretty much non-existent, I think more and more players are turning to man coverage to try and have some kind of chance of getting a stop on defense. And so you need these abilities that will get you really good separation to make sure you don't get locked out by man coverage. So short and elite, mid and elite, definitely give those a shot. And let's jump ahead to number 3. Now, at number 3 is the ability Escape Burst. And before you click ahead to number 2, because you say, oh, I know what Escape Burst does, hear me out, guys. What everyone traditionally thinks of with Escape Burst is that on a passing play, Escape Burst helps you get outside the pocket a little faster. You guys saw it light up, and we get outside just a little faster and scramble for some good yards. That's fine. But what I've got right here is an RPO that will help us use Escape Burst in a different way. And some people might call this glitchy, but I think it's just a really fun way to play the game. So it's an RPO sweep peek sweep, whatever it's called. And right after the running back passes, I'm going to hold sprint with my quarterback. And you guys can see Escape Bar is lit up, and it allows us to take off and get some really good gains. And the reason I know it's Escape Bars, again, is because it lights up. If you don't have an Escape Bars quarterback, you cannot do this. Like, your quarterback will just stand there after you don't hand the ball off, and you won't have a whole lot of mobility. You won't be able to instantly just take off the way you can with Escape Bars. And so this is how I prefer to use Escape Bars. I prefer to find the RPOs where the quarterback gets a really good jump off, just almost immediately, because it's not every RPO. You definitely have to go do some testing, but if you find the right RPOs, guys, you can use Escape Bars and get so glitchy. It'll make your opponent so mad. I've gotten plenty of messages, especially if you guys were following the channel, for the last few months of Madden 21, we kind of had a whole offense kind of based around utilizing RPOs with Escape Bars, and it's a ton of fun, guys. It's a ton of fun, especially if you go on next-gen regs with Lamar. These RPOs with his Escape Bars, it's kind of broken. It's kind of broken. So definitely consider using Escape Bars in this way. And of course, you still get the benefits of having it as a normal helping you get out of the pocket as well on passing plays. But on RPOs, Escape Bars is glitchy, and it's a ton of fun. So that's number 3. Let's jump ahead to number 2. Now, at number 2 is the ability Route Technician, and we have the Minnesota Vikings here and Justin Jefferson. If you look at the description, it says Route Technician gives you quicker cuts while running routes. Now, if you remember the discussion on short and elite and mid and elite, those were specific to the area of the field. Are you inside the numbers? Are you more or less than 10 yards from the line of scrimmage? Route Technician says you just get quicker cuts. You just get the glitchy route running from anywhere on the field. Any route that has a cut in it, doesn't matter if it's short, deep, inside, outside, it's going to work everywhere. So Route Technician is so good. Now let's just go ahead and just streak all these guys, and let's just put Justin Jefferson on a slant, and let's just take a look at the Route Technician ability lighting up. If you guys saw right there, you saw it light up. He's got his guy beat, and now we just, wait for it to, clear the zones in the middle, and he's wide open. Justin Jefferson's not even that fast, but the Route Technician ability is going to let him beat a corner anyway. And again, we're going to see it. Oh, it didn't light up right there because he got pressed. Looks like he still won anyway. But as long as they're not getting, jammed at the line, you'll see Route Tech light up every single time. And it creates such crazy good separation. And I remember last year, Devontae Adams with it in regs. Devontae Adams started the year with only 89 speed, but because he had Route Technician, you still couldn't man him up. He still won any man assignment, even against the fastest cornerbacks in the game. That's how good Route Technician is. Now, it definitely looks like on next gen, it does not quite get the same separation as on current gen, but you guys still see he's getting open, he's getting the separation. It's still an excellent ability. And it doesn't just work on the slant routes either. Like I said, here's a deep post for him. Let's go ahead and take these other guys and put them on drags. And even on that deep cut, we should see it light up. There it is on the break. And obviously, it's not open. He's the only guy we sent deep. But if you guys were watching carefully, on the cut, the route technician lit up again. And so, just like I said before, guys, with man coverage seeming to be the way to go until zones are fixed, at least, at this time, I think route technician is one of the best abilities you can have because if your opponent wants to play man coverage, they basically have to give special attention to any route technician player because a single defender will not cover him. You either have to put extra zones around him, or just know that he's going to get beat. Your defender's going to get beat on any inside breaking routes. You have to take your user and sandwich him so that you have the inside and the AI defender that got beat has the outside. It just takes a lot of extra attention to account for these route technician players. And if you don't have a route technician, there's also Slot-O-Matic in the game. I'll mention that. Slot-O-Matic is basically a route technician only from the slot. So route technician will work from anywhere on the field. Slot-O-Matic, as long as you have a player in the slot, they will also get that glitchy route running, those quicker cuts on any routes they run from that slot position. So that is number 2, guys, route technician. Let's jump ahead to number 1. Now at number 1, this is what many consider to be the best ability in all of Madden, and that is the ability Gunslinger. So I have the Green Bay Packers, but I don't have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I have Jordan Love because I want to show you guys first what it looks like when a quarterback does not have Gunslinger. So I'm going to hopefully be throwing to the running back on this really awesome corner route, and I'm just going to throw it regardless. But look at how the ball loops in there. That was a bullet pass, guys. That was a bullet pass. And it's still really just kind of looped in there. It didn't have a whole lot of zip on it. Guys, I'm holding the RB button down as hard as I can, and the ball just does not come in there very fast. Now, you may say, oh, it's because Jordan Love just, isn't that great of a quarterback. And that's true, but I want you guys to see the difference with Gunslinger. So let's choose new play right now. Let's put Aaron Rodgers in, and look what Gunslinger does. But if you read the ability, it says Gunslinger gives you faster throwing animations and velocity on bullet passes. So let's go ahead and watch this again and look at the difference in how quick that ball gets to the running back. It is a night and day difference. And again, like the description says, it's giving you a faster throw animation. So again, even though Aaron Rodgers already has a good throw animation, it's making it even faster. So just literally just, his arm action, just how long it takes to go from standing still to the ball leaving his hand, Gunslinger makes it faster. And then, probably even more important than that is it just makes the velocity of the ball so much faster and gives it a lower trajectory. And when it comes to passing, you guys know that passing is just all about timing. It's all about hitting the open windows. And like that pass right there is intercepted without Gunslinger. In regs now, there's like 4 quarterbacks that have Gunslinger, and I'll put those on the screen. And then also Tom Brady has set feet lead, which is like the poor man's Gunslinger. It doesn't give you the faster throwing animation, but it gives you the faster velocity on the ball and the lower trajectory as long as you lead the pass with set feet in the pocket. So I know those are like a lot of requirements, but it's Tom Brady. Like you're not really gonna be scrambling a whole lot with him anyway. And it can really make a big difference in just hitting your windows. And so Gunslinger's number 1, just because passing without Gunslinger, that was a really poor decision there. But passing without Gunslinger is just so much tougher. It's not impossible. There are players who make it happen without Gunslinger. And especially like right now in MUT, no one has Gunslinger, but everyone is using set feet lead because it's the next best thing. And so if you're going to be passing the ball at all, Gunslinger just makes such a big difference. It's not impossible to pass without it, but boy, is life a lot easier with Gunslinger. But anyway, guys, those are my top 5 offensive abilities in Madden 22. Let me know in the comments below which abilities you would put on this list or maybe take off of this list. And also let me know what top 5 lists you guys want to see. We're going to be doing top 5 Fridays every single Friday, at least to the end of the year. And then we'll decide from there if we want to keep doing it. But anyway, guys, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and I'll catch you in the next video.